So I was came across this post the other day, and I get asked this question often: is that we're getting started with attribution, or we're getting started with multi-touch attribution, and where should we start? What's the best way to go about it? What's the easy way to get it up and running? Because we don't want to buy a hockey stack or a dream data, or we don't want to invest in that setup right now. And my answer is usually, while one, for most businesses, if you have been solely relying on last touch attribution, just start doing last touch and first touch. And for 80% of the use cases, I think that's more than enough. You don't need W shape, you don't need V shape or any other multi-touch stuff. I think you start with first touch, which is where did this person come across? What is our awareness top of funnel channel? And the last touch is where is the converting channel? So where are people converting from? An easy example of this that we see in our work a lot is that when you do solely last touch attribution, a lot of the last touch will show that people came from Google Ads or Google Search or something like that, which is more bottom of the funnel, high intent stuff. But once you start looking at the first touch attribution, it starts to look a bit different, because then you start seeing that, oh, it's actually YouTube, my Facebook ads, my SEO, my content, my display ads or something like that is driving more of the top of funnel awareness, and that is leading people to actually go and search for you. So that's one. The second thing I usually recommend is start with some holdout testing, and this is not a scientific way, but turn off your ads for a month and see what happens, and then turn them back on. And then you'll notice this, if the ads were, or your specific channel that you want to test, like G2 or Capterra or whatever else, if there was driving a significant enough volume, when you turn it off, your number is going to dip. So when your numbers dip, that gives you a baseline of, okay, without G2 or Capterra or Google Ads or Facebook or whatever that channel is, this is my baseline of no X channel. Or you turn off all the ads, and then you get a baseline of, this is all my organic, direct, and like my branded search and all that stuff. And then when you slowly start adding channels on top, you can start measuring the delta between them. So if you have no paid going on right now, and you're getting about, let's say 100 inbounds leads a month, and then you start layering on channel one, like Facebook ads, and then you measure it over a month, and then you see that, oh, it went from 100 a month to 150 a month. So that incremental difference, or the delta between 100 and 150, is that 50 leads. That's your contribution from Facebook. And then you add on Google Ads, and you add on Google Search, Reddit, whatever have you, and you can do it that way. The third thing that I usually tell people is start looking at Google Analytics or GA4's multi-touch funnels. That will give you a layer bit of idea, even though it's not true revenue attribution. It's just measuring form fills or the conversion events that we have. It's going to give you a little bit of idea of like what is actually happening, how are people coming, how are these different channels interacting with each other to drive these form fills. Once you have that baseline, you're like, okay, this is interesting, I want to dig deep into it. Absolutely go ahead, buy a dedicated solution like Hockey Stack or Dream Data, more in depth. The mistake with multi-touch attribution is they fall in love with the idea of the model. So they fall in love with the idea that, oh, I can get a W-shape attribution and it will tell me all these different things, but they don't do anything with the insights. All the data just ends up in a pretty dashboard, which no one looks at, or maybe they look at once a quarter, but they don't make any decision based on it. They don't reallocate spend. They don't really do anything. It just sits there and nothing really happens with it. And I've personally done a lot of visible implementations back in the day, and then that was the one main issue. The second issue is that if you don't have good data, then you won't get good insights. So like you have to make sure your data structures are right, your funnel stages are right, your sales team or marketing team are following some certain best hygiene practices, you're assigning the right sources, you're assigning the right lead status, you're assigning the right like meeting booked status, or like funnels opportunity stages, and assigning revenue value to opportunities that are close to something that I've seen that sometimes doesn't happen is you don't assign the proper revenue value. They'll say this opportunity is worth this much, but when it closes, it doesn't get upgraded to what they actually pay. So here's some tips. I hope this was helpful. Be sure to subscribe. We're doing a lot more videos. You'll see some other faces on this channel as well. So I hope this was helpful, and let me know if you have any comments or questions in the comments below. Thank you.